everybody, welcome back to the Hawk and Mock MOTOVLOG. I'm Jeff, and today my guest, Matt. So, I met Matt 5 years ago?
Probably like 4, yeah.
Through Connor, FXDB in Texas, because I sent Connor a local Harley shop shirt, and he reached out to me saying, hey, I know that shop. And, well, as you can see behind me, he's got a 2010 Dyna Super Glide Custom, which Dyna Super Glide Customs will hold a special place in my heart forever because I owned an 07. So, Matt runs a local Instagram page called 508 Dyna Crew. And I thought, what better person to interview is somebody on a Dyna who's local to the area and get their input. Welcome to the channel, my friend.
Nice to be here.
So we're gonna have some beer to start this off because, you know, that's what we have to do when it's 80 degrees. So we kind of covered how we met.
Yep.
So when I first met you, you were riding a black Dyna. It was like an 88 twin cam.
Yeah, that was my 04 FXT.
So jealous. So what happened to that bike?
So that bike, that was my wheelie bike. And that I built to wheelie. The 88's definitely the best to wheelie. And I beat the piss out of it. And I eventually just kind of got tired of it. I kind of actually got sick of Harleys for a little bit because everything kept breaking. And
it's a common thread I see with all of us.
And so I sold it and I ended up buying a dirt bike.
Now there was a Road King in there though, wasn't there?
There was a Road King in the midst of all this too. That was kind of in the middle. When I bought the dirt bike, I kind of regretted it, not having a Harley. So I bought a Road King. I put T-bars in the Road King, did some rollers, and I sold that too.
So I remember, I think when I met you at the time, I was running an 01 Sporty and a 95 Road King. And you had reached out to me and you're like, oh, what do you think of the Road King? I'm like, oh, it's a solid touring bike, whatever. And you're like, yeah, dude, I'm slapping some T-bars on this and I'm doing rollers. And I'm like, you're gonna do what? And mind you, this was, we're in 21, so 2017. People weren't really doing this. Like, Seabear hadn't really become famous yet. A lot of the stunt guys, they were doing stuff on Dynas, Sportsters, but they weren't elevating it. And then he's like, yeah, I'm slapping T-bars on a Road King. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And then I remember one time, too, you hit me up, you texted me, and you were like, hey, so I was just going like $1.05 down the highway. I think I killed it. And I'm like, huh. So what happened there? I do want to know.
So me and my buddy Rhodes and Narragansett, we were coming back.
Okay.
And I was on the Road King. I just kind of got it set up. I was loving it. And yeah, all of a sudden it started knocking pretty bad. And yeah, I was doing about $1.05, and I kind of heard it, and it was really, really silent at first. It wasn't too loud. Okay. And then I got off the highway, and I was at idle, and it was loud.
Shit.
And so I kind of pulled off. I turned it off. I was looking at stuff. Obviously, you can't see anything. I started it back up. Rode it home like that. It was awful. I felt like I was murdering it. Got it back to the garage, took it apart. I worked at a shop at the time, so I asked all the techs too, like, hey, what do you think it is? We did a couple things to see if it was maybe the crank bearing.
Yep.
It wasn't that. There was no metal shavings in the oil or anything. It ended up being the compensator.
No shit.
Yep.
Wow. So that just goes to show, like, a lot of the times as riders, you try to self-diagnose whatever the issue may be, and like, you shake the magic 8 balls and all signs point to yes, and it's not. So that's when it's a good idea to have somebody who might have a little more knowledge or experience in building bikes or working at a shop, kind of get in and have them give you a helping hand.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was definitely an advantage working at, you know, all these different shops and stuff, having techs that were really cool there that, you know, they know these Harleys in and out.
Right.
They can hear something and be like, that's what it is.
Right. So then you bought the dirt bike.
Yep.
Then you bought this.
And I bought this.
So what is this?
This is my baby right now. So this is my 2010 Super Glide Custom. I am not going to wheelie this bike, even though I've tried.
Okay.
It's really, I wanted it to, you know, be purpose built. I wanted it to be able to ride nice. I wanted it to be able to go on cruises. I wanted it to be able to, you know, do group rides and stuff. Really just kind of putt around. Gets up and going pretty quick. But yeah, it's really just kind of a mild performance bike.
There you go. So is it got the 96 or the 103?
96.
All right, so still 96, which is a great motor I had
Yep.
in mind. 6-speed, fuel injected, it's got everything you want.
Right.
So, quick other thing, I am noticing you run Commander 3s front and rear.
Yes.
What do you think of them?
I love them. Honestly, the guys at Mom's turned me onto these. They're fantastic tires.
So on my Road Glide, I have stock Harley Dunlops. Everybody knocks on them. I haven't really. I've ridden them in the rain. I've actually rode them in the snow. Unfortunately, they weren't the worst tire I've ever ridden, but they're by far from the best. When I had my Dyna, I went to the Metzler 888s. Those are a decent tire. But I keep seeing the Commander 3s, and everybody that has a touring bike is like, oh, Commander 3. And I'm like, I think I'm going to go that for the next one.
They're a little pricey. They're worth the money. I've run everything from Shinko's to Metzler's to Dunlops to now these. These have been my favorite tire by far.
Okay.
They're sticky. They hug the road. They can handle it.
Okay. So I see you got a quarter fairing. You've got a 2-to-1 exhaust, some bars. So what quarter fairing are you running?
That's the Memphis Shades.
How do you like it?
I need a taller windscreen.
Okay.
I underestimated on that by a lot because I'm not the tallest dude, but the way I sit on this seat, I'm right above it. I get the buffeting really bad.
Okay. How is did you ever ride the Harley quarter fairing?
Yes. Yeah, I had one on my last bike.
How does it compare wind-wise?
Wind-wise, this is going to take a little bit more of the wind, and it actually disperses it a little bit better in my opinion. I've swapped back and forth a bunch of times. I actually have a windshield for this bike too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, and the windshield's a lot taller. It's a grandpa windshield, but
there's nothing wrong with a grandpa windshield.
I won't be seen with it, but I mean, if I'm going somewhere and I'm on the highway for a while, it's probably right about here. Oh wow, it's pretty tall, but
that's worth it.
Yeah, it takes the wind off. And then if my girl's in the back, same thing. It takes the wind off of her a little bit.
So I see risers. Where'd you go through those?
Those are the J&P generic risers, believe it or not. That's what I've always run. So, wow, I'm not made of money. I've worked with motorcycles for a long time, and now I do construction, but I'm not made of money, so I wasn't spending the big bucks on something that I can make work.
Punking. Lucky days. I mean, on my Dyna, so I've talked a little bit about that bike. I'm actually trying to get it back on here at some point. I ran the Lucky Days bars, but you're right, they are super pricey.
Yeah.
Like it is, and I loved those bars. I actually bought those bars because of Connor.
Did you?
So I hit Connor up. We were going back and forth, and he goes, "Hey, dude, here's my Snapchat. Just message me there." I'm like, sweet. So I was messaging him because I was tossed between 11, 13, and 15.
Okay.
And he's like, get the 13. I was like, yeah, but dude, those are tall. And he's like, you'll be fine. 2 weeks later, I order them. I pull the trigger, and I send him the thing. He's like, oh, you ordered them? I'm like, yeah, what? What did I do?
What do you mean?
He's like, you're going to regret not going to 15. I was like, no way. Just saying, allegedly, I might have, I think the 15s might have been a little too tall. The 13s were always, it felt really good. But like you said, they're pricey.
Yeah.
Because like when I originally did that bike, I had the Biltwell risers with a Big Al's bar, because Unknown Industries works with Big Al, and I was like, I want those bars.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh god.
So I've run the Biltwell risers before. That's what I had on my Road King.
Yep.
Those were good risers. Not a lot different from these though.
No.
Those are $299, I think.
Yeah.
These were $67.
So I think, and this goes back to real world stuff. You can drink. So right now we're drinking some Miller Lite. Miller is owned by Coors, so you can go buy Coors Light or you can buy Keystone Light. It's the same exact beer. It's made in the same plant, the same everything. It tastes like a smidge different, but after like 4 of them, you can't tell the difference.
Right.
And you spend way less. So I feel like risers, like we all go, oh hey, I have to buy name brand. Like tires, I would buy name brand.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think something on the bike that I wouldn't. lights. I wouldn't necessarily. I'm a fan of Custom Dynamics. We talked about that a little bit before.
Yep.
My dyno, I was a fan of Moon's MC, but I wouldn't necessarily. Like, I won't knock. I had an eBay headlight or Amazon headlight.
Yep.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like on the dyno, it was like $60 or $70, and I was like, absolutely.
Well, that's the thing, and like it's LEDs. They've come so far. It's
Right.
not that different. You know what I mean? You can even do like the at the Harley shop that I worked at. They sold LED bulbs that go just in the stock housing or whatever. Those worked great.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, food for thought.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know if you can kind of see it in the video here. You got some custom highway pegs.
Those are kind of funny. So those came on the bike. When I got this bike, it was an absolute grandpa bike. Absolute grandpa bike. Those are the only cool thing that I left on the bike.
They're shell cases.
Yes, they're 50 cals.
Dude, that's dope. All right, now I gotta ask a quick question. So, on my Dyna, I ran the exact same from the guy I bought it from. He got in bike wreck in 05, 06. Got a huge payout and bought his bike brand new in 06. It was in 07, so it was like when they started everything.
Yeah.
I had the same highway pegs, and then I went to the Bung King front crash bar. Now, you're quite a bit taller than me.
Yeah.
I couldn't reach that damn crash bar to save my life. I put the grip tape from a skateboard on it, like I did all the hacks I found online. I couldn't run it. Now, it appears to me that you have them set in the further closer to you position.
I haven't moved them.
Okay.
I kind of like them there.
There's two positions. There's one where it's even more forward. The only issue I've found is when you're wearing pants. Sometimes, if they're long, they'll flap a little bit.
Yeah.
You can do what I did up at Hampton Beach and set yourself on fire in front of a cop. That goes over real great.
Oh, sure.
There was no beverages consumed at that point, by the way. I was sitting in traffic. I didn't have heat shields on a thunderheader.
Ooh, that'll do it.
Yeah, and he's like, he rolls down and went, "Hey kid, you're on fire." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm sitting there trying to bash it out. He's laughing.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude, it was great. So you got the Arlen S intake. Those, I feel like for whatever reason, on any Dyna, they fit.
So on my page, I do reviews of all the products I have on my bike, so that people can know before they buy an honest opinion.
Yep.
I'm going to be changing this
Because of the backing plate.
because of all the materials used. It feels so cheap to me.
Yeah.
I took this out of the package and I was kind of shocked, but I kind of expected it for the price tag. It's like $170.
Yep.
And I just wanted the chrome. I got kind of the chrome look going on, so I was like, whatever, you know. This, it sounds like metal, doesn't feel like metal when you have it like off of there.
You know what you can do? Take a CD cover and put it on it.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah.
Dude. I saw one. It was I'm a huge Blink-182 fan, by the way, from back in the day. Somebody did the Enema of the State one, and I was like, that is so awesome. I need that in my life.
That's the kind of cool stuff I like to see on bikes.
So actually, really weird side note too with the Arlen S intake. The guy who had my Dyna bought everything brand new in 07. I bought the bike in 16, we're gonna say, and I ended up changing out the air cleaner, getting a new just element, and putting it back together. Went to a shop, they cracked it, and I found that they had cracked it.
The backplate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they got me a brand new one, and the guy goes, "Before I put this on, I want to show you." Mind you, this was, we're going to say for a timeline, 10 years apart, 100% different. The new one was way thinner, and I'm like, dude, can we JB weld this? Like,
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but we're not gonna.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
not in a shop.
what if I do it? He goes, well, you do what you want to do, but I wouldn't, because if that gets sucked through, I'm like, it's fine. I ended up just leaving the one on. So I want to touch on the exhaust. What exhaust did you go with?
TBR as usual. I've never run anything but TBR.
How do you like it?
I love it. So the reason behind this is I worked at Precision.
Yep.
The guy for a while there that did our dyno tuning when we were getting it set up, he was good friends with the guys at Two Brothers.
Well, that works.
He turned me onto it when I had my 04. I got a Two Brothers exhaust, and I was sold ever since.
So I think it's real funny with the 2-to-1s in general. I was a Thunderheader guy from one of my old friends that turned me on to them. Had zero to do with Sons of Anarchy before anybody puts it in the comments. A thunderhead is like a shovel or a pan or a knuckle. It fires up and you instantly know that's a thunderheader from a mile away. But for 2-to-1s, I had a thunderheader on the new bike. I got a Vance Hines Pro pipe. I've heard the Two Brothers, heard you pulling it. It sounds amazing. So there's 100 different companies. So here's my one thing that I want to ask. So you said before you ride with the girl, you roll out your backpack. Her foot is right there.
Yep.
Have you melted some shoes yet?
Nope, and she wears heels, and they sit right here.
They haven't melted yet.
They haven't melted. At least I haven't had any complaints. Honestly, I haven't checked. She would tell me, though.
Oh, of course.
She would tell me, so.
They get very upset about their shoes. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if you're on a motorcycle, what do you want?
You shouldn't have worn heels. I mean.
This is true. All right. I'm going to go to the seat in a second, but I noticed you got the Van grips. What do you think of the Van's grips?
It's my first time running those, and I love it.
So we're going to talk about this. I allegedly might have got kicked in the face once with Van sneakers when I was way younger and I didn't have this luscious beard on my face. When the kid kicked me. So if you don't know, the Vans grips is literally they take like the bottom of the shoe and they just made like a set of grips out of it. I remember running my hand on my face. I had like an imprint in my face for a while and I was like, I hate Vans.
All these bumps.
Yeah. So you like them though? Not too sticky?
Not too sticky. I occasionally do ride with gloves, and it can be a little sticky. That's with the gloves. When I ride, like if I'm just cruising like I did today, I mean, I'm in shorts, man.
Yeah.
No gloves or anything. It's they're pretty nice.
Flow, hand controls. What do you think? I need to know.
I love those. So I come from a dirt bike background.
Yep.
I rode dirt bikes growing up, and the adjustable levers, awesome. It's exactly what I needed. If I still had a wheelie bike, those would be on it for that reason.
Really?
Yep, 100%. The adjustment's a little weird.
Okay.
So I actually, when I filmed one of my videos, I was showing how it adjusted, and I ended up screwing up my adjustment. And
You always do.
Yep. And so, if you mess up the adjustment on your clutch with the actual dial on the clutch lever, it can mess up your cable adjustment.
Okay.
Because you're throwing out basically a screw.
Gotcha.
And it's affecting basically how much clutch you can pull at one time. So it's how much cable's coming through. So it's something you don't want to mess with. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can definitely fuck the clutch.
Gotcha. All right, now last but not least, Saddleman seat. So we talked about this.
Yeah.
I was a Lucky Dave's guy. You're a Saddleman guy. Saddleman makes Lucky Dave's seat. Lucky Dave's makes no issues about that. They straight up say, yes, Saddleman builds our seats. However, they build it to Dave's specification. Right. So you got the diamond stitch, which I think looks way better than the tuck and roll.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why they even do the tuck and roll option.
I had a buddy that ran the tuck and roll, and he was like, it's more comfortable. I can't see that at all.
No.
I rode his bike, and I didn't think it was more comfortable.
Looks ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you're building a chopper or something, I'd be okay with it. Like, I'm like, okay, hey, like 60s, 70s, tuck and roll. Okay. Diamond stitch all the way, though.
At the same time, though, a seat like this on a chopper, when I think of a chopper, I think of a solo seat.
With a sticky pad on the back.
Yep.
Or here's a hoodie. Roll it up and sit on this.
Exactly.
Sit on my fender.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. I don't really know of any bike that I would. Maybe a sports ride around the tuck and roll.
Like the what's that? The Nightster.
Yeah.
The 883 Nightster.
Yeah.
That thing would look good with it, with some drag bars.
I can't do drag bars. They hurt so bad. You talked about
hurt-wise, but looks-wise.
Oh, looks-wise, they're phenomenal. So you talked about Narragansett earlier. So I had a Sportster back in the day, 01. Forward controls, drag bars, LaPower barebone seat with the gel.
Yep.
Me, my buddy, his father, his girlfriend thing at the time, she rode her own bike. So we're all down there. The girl I was dating at the time called me and said, hey, it's thunder and lightning in Avon. You need to come back. Or not you need to come home. I just want to let you know. We're like, now mind you, we're probably like 65 miles-ish from home. Like, it's beautiful, blue, sunny. The train's going to come by, I think, in a minute. I'm going to be very upset about this. But anyway, so we checked the radar, and sure as shit, huge storms coming in. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. Dude, we rode back, and that was the most miserable ride because I ended up finding out why drag bars are good for short sprints. Nothing more. And we're going to pause for a second because of that stupid train. I'm totally leaving this in the video to have some more beer.
That's fine with me. They gonna stop right there?
Sometimes.
Awesome.
Yeah, somewhat. So, alright. We'll pick this back up. So, tuck and roll with drag bars. I hated we were coming back and it was, you get on the highway and you book it and you go.
Yep.
We stopped for fuel right before we got on the highway because everybody wanted to make sure everybody could just make the shot home. I didn't look down, but I know what triple digits feel like, and we were hauling, and it sucked. I had no quarter fairing, no nothing. Little Sportster with a 21-inch front wheel.
Just getting pelted.
Dude. And of course I had to be the cool kid with a beard, rocking a beanie.
Yeah.
My Oakleys are on my face like this. I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Ah! And right before everything happened, when we were on our way to Narragansett, or actually no, I'm sorry, we left Narragansett, we went to Newport. When we were going to Newport, the girl had a cup holder on her bike. Her coffee worked its way out did one of these right at my head, hit me square in the face. There was like no coffee left, but there was like a little bit of like cream in the bottom, and it got in my beard, and it just smelled. Oh,
it's gross.
Dude, it was horrible. It was one of those smells like riding home. Like every once in a while, you'd smell it like.
I'm sure it's been sitting in the sun all day and everything.
Dude, yeah. But then the other thing with the drag bars that makes me laugh. So like we're coming back, and like I said, we're just doing a straight shot back. You're like with drag bars, you're holding on for dear life. And don't get me wrong, like they're kind of comfortable for a short sprint.
Yeah.
But like coming back, like I have mini apes and allegedly some new bars coming. Hint, hint. There's a video coming for this. You've got the T-bars. I ran the T-bars on the dyno. All other bars, I feel like you could take at least one hand off and just kind of chill.
Yeah.
With a drag bar, there's no chill. It's
no, absolutely.
I'm gonna die. I think there's like a Ralph from The Simpsons meme about that. Like, oh, I'm in danger. Chuckles.
Oh yeah, he's on the bus or something. Yeah.
I'm in danger. Ah. So anyway, kind of the point of that is, I don't know how we got into that with seats and shit, but yeah, drag bars are terrible, dude. I hate them. Oh God, I continued to ride with drag bars for another like 6 or 8 months, and then I got a set of. We were talking about buckhorns earlier. We were talking about different handlebars, and my buddy had a '08 Street Hawk, and we ripped the bars off his bike. He went to, I forget what he went to. He's like, hey, do you want them? I was like, yeah, sure. So I had the stock 6-inch Harley riser with like the 10-inch bars. They were like 16s. And I was like, oh my God, this is way better. I can just like chill and, yeah. Oh, that was a good time.
That's like my Road King came with 22s on it. Yeah. It was
Dude,
serious.
I thought those were tall, but not that. Damn.
22s. They weren't legal.
No, absolutely not. There was a video. I don't know if it's you doing a roller or you just riding by, and we've talked about I'm a midget. He's clearly not taller, but he's just like this going down the road. And I'm just like, must be like 18s or something. I don't know.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was the first day I got the bike. I was just cruising around the neighborhood, just seeing what I could break.
Yeah.
And, I was like, holy shit, these are tall. I rode back from Connecticut like that on the highway. I was like a parachute, man.
Dude, you went to Connecticut to get that bike?
Yep.
And you rode back with 22-inch apes?
Yep, and no plate.
Hockenbach MOTOVLOG totally doesn't condone that, but we've definitely done it. We're just going to throw that out there. Sometimes it's one of those things, you got to do what you got to do. I will not say where I was. Someone stole a plate off my bike.
Ooh.
And I was somewhere and someone stole a plate off my bike. And there was a cop right there, and he's like, dude, I'm going to give you like a get out of jail free card. And he wrote his business card and handed it to me. He was like, just go straight home.
Yeah.
And like he gave me like a police report or something. I forget what the hell he gave. He gave me something. So like I could go to the registry and was like, yeah, somebody stole my license plate, so you need to, so it's not tied to me or something.
Yeah.
Dude, such a pain in the ass.
Well,
like,
yeah, your insurance and stuff is tied to that.
Right, and I'm like, dude, people, first of all, are scumbags, which we all know in this day and age.
Yep.
But like, I've heard of somebody getting their helmet stolen. I've never had my helmet stolen. I've had my plate stolen, though.
I bring my helmet everywhere with me. That helmet's expensive, man.
I was going to say, I was noticing that. I do want to talk about that in a second. But like, my plate got stolen. I've heard of, like, at Daytona Bike Week or even Laconia, I've heard people get their seat stolen. I'm like, dude, you got to be ballsy to steal a seat.
Yeah, seriously. That's how you get your ass beat. I mean,
Yeah, definitely. But like, other than that, like, you're not really going to steal shit off the bike.
No, unless you're coming prepared to steal it.
Yeah, and even at that, dude, you're just going to take the whole thing.
Right.
Because there's way more better stuff.
Yeah.
So, your helmet.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Grab it.
Well, good.
So before anyone hates, it is an HJC.
Dude, that doesn't even matter.
So HJC kind of has a name for making cheap helmets. This is their top of the line.
Okay.
So when I worked at Mom's, they're an HJC dealer.
Yep.
This is their carbon fiber one. So it's a full carbon helmet. It's a race helmet, so it comes with the, I don't even know what they're for, I don't race, but like there's like things you can, they're like tear-offs for dirt bikes.
Okay.
And you put them inside or whatever. Yeah, it's
By the way, I am here. I'm just not in the video today.
Thank you.
It's toasty today, so we're having some beverages. So you got a full carbon helmet.
Full carbon helmet.
Thing's light as shit, huh?
It's wicked light. I mean, feel it.
Dude, that's not even fair. Like, I picked up a steak that weighs more than this.
Yeah. I forget what the exact weight is, but it's next to nothing.
Dude, I think, I don't know. All right, so we're going to talk about this. So I've always been a Bell fan.
Yep.
So do you remember Motorcycles 508 in Brockton?
Yeah.
So they were a Bell dealer. I bought a Bell through them. It was the Vortex. I rode that for years. I just retired it technically the start of the season. Crispy boys for everyone around. So I rode that thing for quite a few years. Destroyed it, dropped it, I don't know how many times. The year before, I'm sorry, it was 19. I bought the Shoei GT Air.
Oh yeah, that's another one that they have at Mom's.
So that's not a cheap helmet, dude. I rode it from Plimpton back to Middleborough, and I thought I was going to throw up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I measured my head. It fell within, so if you don't know, you take a cloth tape measure, wrap it around your head, you measure like 3 times, and you don't do it back to back. You kind of like wait, and you get your correct size that they recommend. So it was a medium. I fit a medium. Like everything was perfect. It gave me such a bad headache. I wore it, like I said, once, and I never wore it again.
So I can touch on that. I'm not a Shoei fan. We had them at the shop, and we used to be able to take the demo bikes and ride them for the night or the weekend or whatever, or rentals. I didn't have a helmet one time. I was like, I'm riding. I want to go ride with everybody. So I needed a full face. I was like, I went and grabbed one of the demo helmets because they have them there. And they sized me up or whatever. I worked at the parts counter too for a little bit, so I kind of knew what I was doing. I rode with it. I hated it. Awful helmet.
So I'm not the only one.
No. And it's one of those things where it's like a name brand thing, I think, for a lot of people. That like, it has to be a Shoei.
Like I said, I did not care for it. I had somebody else wear the helmet for a while, and it didn't hurt their head, and they're like, dude, it's in your head. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I hate this thing. So I went to the Bell SRT modular. So you worked at a shop. I want to ask your opinion. What do you think of modular helmets?
I like modular helmets.
No, you don't.
I do.
You just looked at me and you're like, fuck, he's asking me about old men and women wear them.
Don't get me wrong. Doesn't Seabear wear a modular?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not an old guy.
Hey, Whack, how old's Seabear?
Older than you, I think.
Little older than me. What? Am I fucking an old man or something?
Jesus. Like early 30s. Shit.
Early 30s.
That's not old. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe mid 30s.
I think of old. I think of like the grandpas that never get their bike out of third gear. You know what I mean?
That is true.
But No, like they're good. It's a good concept. It's a good idea. The thing is, I don't like that you can get a lot more noise out of them. I've ridden with them before because Shoei makes one and I've demoed it, and it does make a little bit more noise.
It definitely does.
And I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like give and take. You can obviously lift up the whole thing. That's really nice.
So my biggest reason for going to it, and this is, cigarettes has nothing to do with it.
That's the main reason people go to it.
Yeah, a lot of people who smoke will wear modulars so they can like literally lift up and smoke a butt while they ride, which I've totally smoked a butt while I've ridden, but that only usually happens in traffic, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
No, but the real reason I went to it is so when I first started riding, there was this kid Kevin I rode with, and Kevin had a Gixxer 600, I had my Sportster, and we would rip around. So we ended up coming up with our own unique set of hand signals, which every rider does with their buddies.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we got Cena Bluetooth helmet communicators, which then the whole hand signal thing was just this the whole time. But needless to say, so we had this set of hand signals. So Kevin bought a Street Glide a couple of years ago. He ended up selling it, but like we went to go do shit one day, and I had my full face on. He was wearing a beanie, and I went to go say something to him. He couldn't hear me, and I was on my diner at the time, and I'm like, dude, fuck this. So then Alex, where's your helmet? He's got an Iron Man helmet somewhere.
It's broken. It's in the tour pack.
No, it's broken in the tour pack. Okay.
You were there.
Yeah, I know, you dropped it. Or no, it slid. It slid off his bike.
Ooh.
How many times have we all done that though?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
No, dude, it's dope. But so when it
I
fell,
had a
it
tinted screen too, but
broke.
at the time.
I don't know. One of these. It's missing some springs and shit now.
Yeah.
So.
I also got this generic ass thing.
Hey.
Oh, is that the shark?
Yeah.
Dude, those things are dangerous. Those are so dangerous. You can literally bend those.
Literally.
I don't want to bend it. Oh my god.
It's a rubber nose. It's so you can take it off.
So I was working at Harley when those came out. Everyone there was like, dude, I don't know. That's like a false sense of security.
And the
So,
screen doesn't like to stay up, so it kind of
It
defeats
just
the
falls
purpose.
down.
Yeah.
So what is it? Like a 3/4 helmet?
It's like, you know what the Bell Rogue is?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So I had a Bell Rogue, and I thought I was the coolest kid ever.
So, but I would say this basically is a 3/4
Yeah. With some sort of,
pattern.
yeah.
I would rock it as 3/4. That's probably it. But like, so real quick, this totally went in a different like
We go
way.
off topic.
No, that's fine. But like, so this is a front piece. That was just the remote thing. Jesus Christ, I didn't know that, dude. That's terrifying.
If you hit your face on the ground with that, that's going to hit you in the face.
Dude, it's not gonna do shit.
All it's going to do is hit you in the face.
So, oh no, not my beer. Oh well. So we're talking about helmets. So, I went to go yell at him,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey!" And I was like, "Oh wait, I got a modular." And I lifted up. I was like, "Hey, whatever." And he started yelling at me. I'm like, "Can't hear you." And then he dropped it when we were going up to Vermont, and
Face shield.
it was fancy gold face shield.
It's the Iron Man.
Yeah, I figured. So we were doing our thing, and he dropped it, and we were like, we got back. He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm buying a modular." But dude, like honestly, like not just on a bagger, but like I'd say in general, like when you do have to communicate with somebody, it just you flip it up and you're just like, oh, because how many times you're a full face guy. I'm a full face guy. I love having a full face. You do the put your hand in your mogul.
Yep.
Hey.
One of these.
Blah, 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 blah. You shove it back up because the light turned green.
Most of the time, honestly, my bike is super loud at idle. I can't, even if I wear a half shell, I do occasionally if I'm just jumping around town or whatever.
Right, we all do.
I still can't talk to people.
No.
This pipe is ridiculously loud.
I was going to say, it does. That's the one thing that I've noticed with the shorty pipes. So TBR, we'll actually touch on this. So TBR makes a bagger exhaust. We're totally talking about
money into it.
Dude, we're talking about performance baggers and performance diners because I refuse to say Dynabro ever.
Just
Shut up.
That's true.
So TBR makes a shorty 2-to-1, and dude, so does HPI. But then HPI makes a full length pipe. the biggest thing that scares me, and we talked about it earlier in the video, was, you know, your girlfriend melting her shoes. Dude, like, let's just be honest. You hit a plastic bag on the highway and it melts to your bike, you're pissed.
Yep.
I've melted shoes on a bike. I've melted boots.
Yeah. Actually, I got those out pretty good. There's a good way to get them out, mother's polish.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
Get it right up.
But like, dude, I still don't know if I could do it. And like, that was the other thing. Like, so I was saying with my dad, I ran a Thunderheader. That was like one of the nice things. It was like, it goes all the way out. And it would be quiet enough. People ask me, you know, what do you think of a Thunderheader or this pipe or this pipe? My theory was, listen, I can sneak home at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever, and no one knows I showed up.
Yep.
But then at 12 o'clock the next day, when I'm on the highway and somebody goes to cut me off, you hear me a half mile away.
Right.
So, one little funny thing I was just looking at. So, you got the Super Glide grill still?
Yep.
So, actually, that's the battery box, for those who don't know. So, I actually popped that out, and I used San Diego Customs. Sells the mini bar bag. So, I have the mini bag,
Yeah.
then the big bag, and then the T-bar bag. So, if you take the mini bag and you zip tie it, it actually fits right here, dude. Registration.
That's a good idea.
Keys. Shit, what else did I put in that thing? Registration, keys, Easy Pass. Because I had Viking bags for a short time, and I had the Leather Pros.
Yep.
But I would literally put like my registration, my keys, like just dumb stuff that like stayed on the bike. And I would always leave my keys in there. And I had the fob. So somebody literally could just walk over and go,
Yep.
I'm stealing your bike, bro. But you know, usually people don't do that kind of shitty stuff. But then again, we did talk about, well, I got a plate stolen, so
Yeah.
who knows if they, you know, go steal the bike. But so yeah, you can actually pop that off, and the mini bag fits right there, dude.
I might do that.
Dude, it's dope.
Because I have the Deadbeat Customs one
Yep.
up there. I've run that back on like all my bikes. I just take it off the bike before I sell it. I love that thing.
So, all right. So now we're talking about side bags. So the mini bag, and then they have like, I think they call it the traveler bag. It's a little bigger.
Yep.
So I had the sissy bar on my Dyna that goes and mounts through the 2 seat hole bolts, and it worked fine. But so I ended up like undoing it, and I put like literally like 60 zip ties to hold it on. My buddy was,
Zip ties and duct tape, man.
dude, absolutely, it's a Dyna. I'm just gonna send it. But my buddy was so bold. He was like, dude, you literally use like 60 zip ties. I was like, yeah, I got them from work.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm paid for it.
But dude, like that was super nice to have, just so you could stuff, you know, random stuff. Like if you had a girl with you, you know, they could put their phone in there, or whatever, and it's right there. But so the other thing too that I was gonna say is, with this, so you know how you have a battery tender?
Yeah.
You can actually run it so it comes out right behind here,
Yeah.
and I have the USB plug.
I've been thinking about doing that.
Dude, it's working.
So I had problems with my battery tender actually.
Did you really?
My battery tender cable caught on fire. It was installed by the shop where I got the bike.
Okay.
I had it plugged in. I have plugs like in my ceiling in my
Yep.
shop or whatever. So I just, whenever I'm not home, like I just plug it in.
Right.
And yeah, my dad texted me one day. He's like, "Hey, your battery thing blew up." And I was like, "What?" There's like marks on the ceiling and stuff.
Really?
And yeah, the actual charging piece that plugs into the wall caught on fire. He said it like popped. So
Keep an eye on your batteries. That's going to be like today's update about MOTOVLOG. Like, keep an eye on your battery tenders. Jesus.
I've never had that happen before. It was definitely strange. It's never happened again. This was like probably a year ago when I first got the bike.
So, like, the other big thing, that's what I gotta say. So, like, I ran mine this way, and then, so I have the Plex Audio.
Yeah, that's
So-
my next thing.
I would, don't buy it.
What?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Really?
Dude, so, alright, I'm not shitting on Plex or anything like that, but I've always said on this channel, I will be 100% truthful and tell you straight up about products. So, how much is it? $800?
We'll call it 900.
All right, 900 for the non-marine grade. Now, or no, the marine grade, because the non-marine's cheaper.
Yeah.
So if you buy the marine grade, you
Yep.
get waterproof speakers. You buy the non-marine grade, you don't get waterproof speakers.
Yep.
Now, it's $100 difference. Now, $100 isn't a lot of money, but it really is.
When you're already spending that much.
Right. So here's the problem. You wash your bike and you have marine grade.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you can't turn your stereo on. It has to completely dry out before you even turn it on. Yeah. There's a whole... Dude, I lost my shit after I found this out. So literally, if it gets wet, the water can get behind it and it can fry your amp. Your amp's not made to get wet. So like on the Road Glide, my amp is behind my fire.
Yep.
Shouldn't get wet.
Right.
Things happen though. They can take a little bit of water. So the only difference is the speaker itself. Now Plex will straight up like says to you, because I like called them and flipped out and was like, hey, like what's the deal, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh yeah, you can't really get it wet. I was like, so then why don't I get the marine grade? And they're like, well, we tell you not to run it in the rain. And I'm like, well, what the shit?
Yeah,
like,
why
dude,
would you
if
get the marine grade?
Right. So this is what I tell everybody. Granted, I will vouch with a Thunderheader at 100 miles an hour, full face on. Yes, you can hear your music.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, are you an iPhone or Android guy?
iPhone.
All right. Ha! Team iPhone. So the thing with the iPhone is, you know, if you have something connected to Bluetooth, you can like turn the volume up on your phone.
Yeah.
So my tip is, you turn your phone up 3/4, and then you turn the Plex up all the way.
Yeah.
So then we won't, you know, what we always do with cars when we were younger, but
I still do that.
yeah. Yeah, you're good. It's empty.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't
I
like a
hope so.
full beer. So the thing that I didn't like about the Plex is you couldn't run it in the rain. Now you go get a Cena or Lexan is another company.
Yep.
The downside to those systems is they're battery operated, so you only get X amount of time.
Right.
The other downside is you have to have a helmet on.
Right.
So we're both Mass guys, so you go to New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut.
I don't think so.
I forget. No, Connecticut's weird. I think Connecticut's like Rhode Island. I think they're right.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I used to live in Western Mass. I used to ride in Connecticut a lot. I don't remember though.
Vermont?
I don't rip off my lid a lot anyways.
Dude, so weirdest thing. So Vermont, super hippie land.
Yeah.
Both have to wear a helmet. I'm like, dude, I could walk into a gun shop. Now, we've talked guns before.
Yeah.
In Mass, it's a nightmare to buy a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Literally in Vermont, you walk in with a driver's license, they hand you like whatever the hell you want.
Really? I didn't know
At
that.
18, you're like, hey, yeah, I want a Glock 19. They're like, okay, here you go. Ben and Jerry's
weird
ice
for
cream.
Vermont.
Yeah.
Vermont is literally like hippy dippy central. It's all like tree huggers.
Yeah, but they want you to wear a fucking helmet 24/7. Look at New Hampshire. They have like, dude, whatever. You're 18? Okay, you're fine.
New Hampshire's live free or die. I love
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
I love Maine too. Maine, I think both in Maine you can get away with. For some reason. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like Maine.
So it's gonna go ride without a helmet. And
So, no, as a driver in Maine, I know you don't have to wear it.
okay.
The passenger, I think, if they're over the age of like 21 and the driver of the bike has had X amount of time on it, on like with a license, you're good.
So weird thing, kind of off of this subject. You know those slingshots, the 3-wheel things.
We made fun of those in the last
Dude,
video.
they're not a fucking motorcycle. It's got a stick shift like a car and a steering wheel. But
Right.
yes, continue.
So it only has 3 wheels. So legally, it's not a car. It's also not a motorcycle, but it's like those Can-Ams, whatever. So
Dude, I don't hate those Can-Ams though. We'll get into the Can-Ams in a minute.
I hate the Can-Ams.
Dude, we'll get into it in a minute.
But so the slingshots, we used to rent them at my shop,
Yeah.
and so I took one night because my girlfriend was like, you know, she's not like into motorcycles or anything. She thought it was the coolest thing ever. So we rented it. We went into Rhode Island and went out to eat and stuff. I didn't have to wear a helmet, but she
did.
Weirdest
thing ever.
Stupidest thing ever. Like, what?
So someone I know was riding in Rhode Island, and they misinterpreted the rule, which I understand that fully happens.
Yeah.
Guy was a Mass State Trooper though.
Oh, you're screwed.
No, the dude who was doing it. And like, we ran into him or something like, hey dude, like, you don't have to shoot. And he's like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, right, dude?
Yeah.
But like, it blows my mind. So, alright, trike 3-wheelers. Here's where I'm gonna go with this.
I hate these things.
No, dude, alright, so we've talked about before on the channel with bikes. A Sportster has a job.
Yep.
whether you're bar hopping, commuting to school, whatever, first bike, it does it well.
Yep.
You go to a Dyna or a Softail, okay, you want to extend that ride a little further, maybe instead of going, you know, we talked about where you live, where I live, you know, there's a very famous car show near you that happens every other Thursday. Yeah, a Sportster will do it, but like if I was going to go, I would want something like the Dyna,
Right.
a little longer tank. I've got a little further ride to go. I'm going to be on the highway. Then you get your touring bikes. So here's the thing. My uncle is all of like 5'6",
Okay.
and he's ridden for years. So he was going to buy a trike. He was dead set on buying a Harley trike. It was his retirement gift. I'm like, all right, dude, do it. Just let's go. The Road King version is called the Freewheeler.
Yes. That's just no fairing.
$28,000.
Yeah. Brand new.
Brand new. Used? Dude, they're like 26.
Yeah.
You get the Ultra version with the, which I don't understand why they don't make a Road Glide version. They just make a Street Glide version. But here nor there.
It's the independent fairing.
Yeah. It's 36.
Yeah. They could be more.
Dude, no. No offense, Harley, if you listen to this. Fuck off. Straight up, fuck off with that pricing bullshit.
Well, so I mean, like, the thing that kills me about that is if you look at the rear tires, they're like trailer tires.
Dude, they really are.
They're literally trailer tires. Like, I don't understand it.
No, they make no sense.
I used to go for VIN checks on the bikes when I first started working with motorcycles and everything.
Yep.
They'd just be like, yeah, you go ride the bikes, take them to the police station, do a VIN check. I took a freewheeler once. I had to go on the highway with the exit ramp. Scariest shit I've ever done on a bike.
Right?
And I've done some dumb shit.
So here's my thing. So my uncle was dead set, and he went to the shop we had spoke about earlier, where you had kind of met me through the T-shirt to Connor.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, like, listen, like, this is what I want. And they're like, okay, like, we don't have any here. We have some down the street. We'll set up an appointment with you. We'll have two of them show up so we can compare them side by side. He's like, all right. So he comes down and he goes to look at it.
Yep.
He's like, okay, well, I don't really want a windshield. I want a fairing.
Right.
Now, granted, you could go buy the aftermarket Chinese fairing. Actually, side note, I really want to kind of buy one now because it's just popped in my head. So it's a Road King front end, right?
Okay.
FXRT, that bitch. FXRT trike.
So,
Why not? Give me one reason of why not.
I'm trying to think of how that would work.
Dude, it'd be a fixed fairing.
I think the reason they don't do the Road Glide is because of the angles on the fixed fairing.
Okay, we'll make it work.
I mean, yeah, I can make it work.
I made duct tape and zip ties on my backrest, dude. It's a Dyna. We're gonna do it on. So anyway, so he went and he was just like, "You're." And actually, I'm sorry, they brought 3 because they had the CVO out that year for a trike. And he was like, "Yeah, no, nope." So we ended up going to Bob Skidoo in Easton.
I've heard of them.
I know the owner.
Do you?
Well, I know guys.
Wax
that
in the
work there,
background.
and the owner.
Chapman in.
So we ended up going through them and bought a Can-Am. Now, dude, strangest shit ever riding those. I actually rode it again a couple weeks ago. So, dude, first of all, if you don't know, there's no clutch. I'm really glad we kind of touched on this. So there's 0 clutch. There's no brake. So everything that you and I have known, so I'm 30, you said you're 25. So for me, the last 25 years, for you, the last 20, everything that we've ever been taught, just throw it out the window.
Yep.
Just, nope, you don't need this anymore.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. So here's the thing. So my uncle was in the union for years. It's hard for him to get a bike up.
Yeah.
I rode the bike. And I don't talk about much about my family or the trikes or what they do. Dude, I love them. I hate them. I will say it this way.
Would you say that you
hate
love them?
the shit out of them. Like on a motorcycle run, they take up the whole fucking lane and they think that you can ride side by side. It's like, dude, no, I can't.
Right.
However, just like a Sportster, just like a Dyna, just like a touring bike, it has its niche.
It has a purpose.
Like I said, I rode a few weeks ago after having the Road Glide Ultra. I'm not saying that I would go straight out buy one right away.
Yeah.
But if I ever get to the point in my life where I can't pick up a bike, lose a limb, whatever, here's the thing. Dude, they have the frunk, as they call it, which is the front trunk, has reverse. You can get it with a tour pack. you get it with saddlebags because the trikes don't have saddlebags.
Yeah.
It's just literally you have a tour pack.
That's the stupidest thing in the world to me.
Just buy a slingshot. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just buy a slingshot.
You want to talk about storage on those?
Is there none on
You
there?
pull the seat back, you have about that much space. It's about that deep.
Can I fit a cooler?
You can fit a half helmet in there. You can't fit a cooler. You could fit a 6-pack.
That's terrible.
2 6-packs. You can bring 12 beers with you, and you can look like a douche doing it.
That's probably not enough.
No.
Because we bought 6 and they're
Yeah.
like empty.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So, so here's the thing. My biggest thing is, so my mother, I've never really talked about her. She's all of like 5'3", 4. Her bones are like the size of my pinky, dude. Like she's tiny.
Yeah.
But she could probably hop on this thing, ride cross country.
Yeah.
So I think that the fact that anybody can really hop on this, and we were talking about this before we shot the video. I don't care if you're on Honda, Suzuki, a Gixxer, a Hayabusa, a Dyna, a Softail, your knees are in the breeze.
Right.
Granted, yeah, you're on 3 wheels, but if you can't pick a bike up,
Right, and especially if you've been even riding for a while and you don't want to stop.
right, then do it.
Yeah, then do it. I totally agree. There's a guy that I ride with that one of my buddies introduced me to. I ride with all kinds of people.
Right.
And, he's old. He's probably 65. And
That's only 35 years away from me. Shut up. So he's a little older gentleman.
He's older, and he drove trucks for a living. He's got like a bad leg and stuff, and
He'll be on a trike soon enough.
soon enough. But maybe they'll have the Rogue line by then. But he rides a trike, and it's great. If we gotta bring stuff, we throw it in.
Oh,
his
dude,
tour bag.
absolutely.
But it works for him.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, too. Like I said, I feel like every bike, I'm not going to sit there and knock crotch rockets or sport bikes, whatever you want to call them.
I
Like,
can
there's,
get behind those. I love those things.
dude, I think they're great. There's a purpose behind them. Now, granted, I was up in New Hampshire earlier today before you came down, and I was coming back, and there was a dude just like lane splitting.
Yeah.
We all ride, I get it, we can't lane split in the state. But, like, there's like a nice way to do lane splitting,
And there's a shitty way.
and there's just like a dick way. And
I
this
lane,
dude.
I lane split on the way here.
Did you?
Yeah. I was trying to get here, man.
No. I mean, dude, like, there's certain instances, like when we were coming back from Laconia, we were in dead stop traffic.
We should have fucking done.
Yeah, we should have hopped to the breakdown lane, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Bikes got quite toasty. But at the same time, like, and he and I had the conversation a couple days later, if it's just me and I wreck,
Yeah.
or it's just you and you wreck, you're like, all right, whatever.
Right.
Like, it's somebody behind, like, I'm 2 up, I can't just,
Yeah, no, see, that's the thing. And so I'll go on rides and my girl will come occasionally.
Yeah.
And I will.
hold on, is that a Harley tattoo?
Oh, yeah. So I got this on the side of the road in Laconia.
Dude, we were gonna get tattoos up there at the Harley deal, and I was just like, and then there was like, there was a really large gentleman who definitely looked a bit Viking or something.
Did he have a smoking hot wife?
I don't know, he was alone.
Oh, the dude that did mine, like, absolute ogre dude.
This dude looked like an ogre.
Yeah,
he had quite a few tattoos.
He was telling me about his wife, and then she showed up, absolute smoke show.
Nice.
I was like, good for you, man.
So, dude, like, I just looked over, and like, this poor girl was like tattooing him, and I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good. I'll wait. But so, anyway, so we're talking about her. So, wow, dude, we've done a lot of full circle on this one. All right, so talk about the bikes, how we met. So, you started 508 crew, Dyna crew.
Yes.
Where do you want to take that? Is it just Dynas, or can
No,
a
so
couple
it's not,
old people with
it's-
road glide?
It's just 508 crew. It's not Dyna crew. So
Okay.
it's my whole thing is you have bikes like this, and then you have your grandfather's old Harley.
Yeah.
It's all geared towards parts for bikes like this.
Okay.
And bikes like you guys, where you're running the Legends. You're running all the nice parts. You want a little bit of performance out of your bike. You want nice stuff on your bike.
So I feel like we talked about that. So we were talking before about suspension, before we shot the video, about suspension, about exhaust, seats, all this other stuff. And how, for us, he was asking, oh, what do you think of the Legends? I absolutely love them. I would, if I buy another couple of bikes, like, I'm totally going to go to Legends again. That being all said, fuck me, where was I going with this? This has zero to do with the beer I was drinking. So it has to do with parts, but we were talking, so this is where it was going. So we were talking about parts and how Harleys suck.
Yeah.
Like, you literally, so we were joking and I was saying how if I buy a brand new bike, not that I'm going to, if I bought a brand new bike, it's 34, 36 grand, I think
Something like that.
somewhere in there, for a blacked out Road Glide Ultra in the color option I wanted. And then it's $1,000 for rear suspension, $1,000 for front suspension, new handlebars, new seat, new lights, new this. And like, by the time you're done, you tacked on another 10 grand, I think.
Right.
Give or take. You just put another 10 grand into that bike and it hasn't really left the dealership.
And the thing to mention too is I don't know if you guys just do Harley stuff or whatever, but
Fuck no, dude. We have the pit bikes up there.
yeah. So like, if there's people watching that don't know Harleys, it's like, it's not. You have to do it. This suspension sucks. I have stock suspension. It blows.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it
does, dude.
blows. I've learned how to ride with it, but like coming off of nice suspension, you go back to something like this, you're like, oh my god, it's awful.
Dude, that's kind of what scares me. So my buddy Rob bought my Dyna, and we were talking about it. It has the Racing Brothers suspension on it, and it's got the P Max. I will never outride the P. Like I don't even think I'd come close to it. Like, it looks good.
Yeah.
And like, so you asked me like what I think about Legends and blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, you get Revo or Revo A. Like the arcs, like, yeah, they look good, dude. We don't have canyons. We're in Mass.
Right.
Like, you can go to the Kank.
Yeah.
But to get real canyons, you gotta like drive off the road and like do a and yeah, dude. Don't fucking.
The problem with this whole scene is too is, you know, this was originally like a California thing, and yeah,
We're gonna go this route.
We're gonna go this route. So
Okay.
it was originally like a California thing. That's where this whole like fad really kind of took off. It was a thing beforehand. There's clubs that ride these kind of bikes around here.
Yeah.
There's clubs everywhere that ride these kind of bikes. But this whole fad with people who aren't in clubs and everything making their club style bikes.
Right. Which
You know,
I hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that a
Yeah.
little bit before.
That's
It's purpose built.
Right. It's
The
purpose built.
fairing breaks the wind off you. The saddlebags are out of necessity because you got to carry clothes, you've got to carry beer, you've got to carry the shit you need with you.
Right.
Upgrading the suspension. I mean, we've talked about it. So we got a video dropping very soon about the Legend suspension on my bike, and Alex actually rode my bike back from the Bass Pro Car Show, and he was like, I completely forgot. So we switched bikes. I hopped on his and he was on mine, and we rode back, and I was like, oh, okay, like there's a bump coming.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Dude, I don't even think the 21 had anything to do with it, or that his bike's an 06. But I was like, oh, like this isn't going to be like that bad. Like, and I watch him hit the bump, and it's just like, whoop. And then I go to hit the bump, it's like, I just broke it. Yeah, I almost broke something. I was like, God damn it, dude, this is terrible. So the 508 crew
Yep.
is, so you're, as I'm breaking helmets and shit.
Son of a bitch, I knew it.
So you want to kind of help people get parts and just talk honestly.
It's honest opinions about the parts that everyone's going to be looking at. It's what I buy right now. It's my personal opinion about what I buy. And there's parts for my bikes. I am a little ADHD with especially bikes.
Yeah.
So like I'll buy parts and I'll change them out next week.
Right.
If I don't like it, you know what I mean? And I'll give an honest opinion about it.
So that's kind of like how we do a lot of stuff. So like we have a video about Vance and Hines. So I bought the Pro Pipe.
Yeah.
So I bought it brand new in April. I bought the black Cerakoted one, or powder coated, whatever they call it. Rode in the rain once, and the pipes. I mean, dude, you looked at it before. It's fucked.
Yeah.
So I called them and I was like, "Yo, I need it. We got to fix this."
Right.
And they're like, "Well, the chrome doesn't do it." I'm like, well, "I bought a black one. I want black not to do it." And they're like,
Yeah.
"It's gonna do it."
Right.
So I think it's really good too that like we nowadays, between the Hawk vlog, your thing going on with the 508 crew, where people can really give honest opinions, because you go and you read the reviews, whether it's on Revzilla, JP Cycles, Dennis Kirk, there's a whole
I
list
mean,
of
there's even like hardcore cycles. You got
Yeah.
Speed Kings, you know,
Deadbeat.
Deadbeat.
Deadbeats? Did you realize Deadbeats in Tewksbury?
Yeah. So my buddy went there. Was it last summer? I guess they had some sort of like
Deadbeat retreat.
event. Yeah, the Deadbeat retreat. And he went, didn't invite me, and I was like, dude, what? How did you get there? I thought it was in like, I thought for some reason it was in Colorado.
Dude, so did I.
There's some shop in Colorado. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but Yeah, I thought it was in Colorado. I was like, what do you mean you went to Deadbeat Retreat? Like,
Dude, it's
you
in
have
Maine.
work tomorrow.
Dude, it's in Maine. It's
Yeah.
apparently it's a wild. So my buddy, I call him Fat Joe.
Yeah.
He's a larger man, or Reverend Joe. Sorry, he has Reverend tattooed right here on his stomach. He's actually coming on here at some point to do an interview.
That's awesome.
And goddamn train's gonna come by. Whatever.
Here it comes.
So Joe goes. One moment. So Joe's a bigger boy. He goes and dude, he puts all of us to shame. Like he literally rides year round.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. And he's got an 06. He actually bought a Softail for Mom's. He bought an 06 Softail, dude. I want to say he like got just screwed on interest, which Mom's is kind of famous for.
Yeah, I won't go into too much detail about it, but there's two types of financing.
Yeah.
There's, what I use, which is actually Greenwood,
Yeah.
which is a credit union, and then there's the Mom's financing if you can't get finance through them.
Right.
The interest rate reflects that.
Yeah. But so he was like 20, never had a driver's license, only had a motorcycle license. And so he bought the bike, and dude, he's got to be close to 100K on the bike. He blew the motor. It was a twin cam 88. He blew up on the way home from his trip down south. And like, of course, like, dude, our luck,
Yeah.
any one of us, we'd blow up in like South Carolina.
Yeah.
No, Joe blew up in like Connecticut. Like he made it almost all the way home, and like he tried to limp it, and like the bike it was like,
Yeah, it wasn't.
no, I'm dead. Bleh.
What did he blow? Do you know?
Dude, that bike had like 75K on it.
What year was it?
An 05 Heritage.
So it's not the Timekin then.
No.
That's 02.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, but like he made it like, and he posted on Facebook, and I was just like, no, like I will come push you, and then I was like, shit, dude, we're still like fucking 400 miles from home. Not 400, like 250 miles from home.
Yeah.
No, not pushing.
I'm good.
Like a couple miles, I'll push. Well, dude, I do want to give you a huge shout out. Thank you for coming on the channel.
Yeah.
We're at like an hour and 2 minutes. I think this is the longest interview we've had today. Jesus. So, dude, thanks for coming down to the shop. Thanks for showing me the Dyna. Thank you for fall back in love with a good old Super Glide. Thanks for some good chats. I hope to have you on the channel again. So, all right. So, for everybody out there, what is if people want to contact you with questions about reviews and shit, how should they go about it? Instagram?
Through the 508 Crew page.
Okay, so Instagram 508 Crew?
Yes.
All right.
It's at 508 Crew.
All right, so at 508 Crew is how you find him. Ask him questions. I know I've had questions from him over the years, especially when you worked at Precision and Mom's. Dude, I think I went to Mom's a couple times, like just looking for you because I was in the area. And you're like, oh, I'm off today, and I'm like, oh, okay. So if you go on the 508 Crew page, be sure to keep eye out for the red Dyna. Maybe if anybody's watching this and they are local and you want to reach out and get some Dyna stuff, talk to this man right here. Well, as we say, keep the rubber down, shiny up, hit the like button, the little bell notification thingy, because apparently you have to tell people to do this shit now.
Oh yeah.
To let you know when I or Alex or whoever drops some new footage. And subscribe. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel.
You gotta do that. You're not gonna see the rest of the people on here.
Yeah, exactly. Go find us on Hockamock MotoVlog on YouTube. Go find him at 508 Crew on Instagram. Hockamock MotoVlog on Instagram too. And yeah, peace. I'm gonna have to edit this, son of a bitch.